Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Rory Mack, it's going to be remembered. It will be a lasting image from the 2024 United States Open, just like Bryson DeChambeau's 55-yard bunker shot.
We love big-time winners. Like, you win a championship, we want to hear from you. You get the stage. Sometimes it's emotional. It's a great watch. We also love the losers who said, you know what, I just can't believe I folded down the stretch. Let me face the music here. You sort of get a new light there.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Ferrall has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast.
I mean, that was unbelievable, Mike. I know we're going to get into the hockey here, but the ending of that soccer game, Italy scoring with 5 seconds left in extra time, runoff time, literally 5 seconds. This guy blasts the goal, and then they move on, and Croatia's done. And then, what's amazing to me is how incredible it is. It really is, truly is, bigger and better than all American sports. Literally, it's better than everything. I have never seen crowds like this, even at the only thing that can even come close to it. They try to mimic it is the Super Bowl. They turned the Super Bowl into an orgy is what it is. It's a 12-hour orgy on television, and everyone in the world has got their eyes on it. I get that. Nothing compares to this. The Euros, the World Cup, the soccer, to me, like globally, watching this scene, these crowds, these fans, I don't think there's any, like, not even the NFL can hold a candle to it. I mean it. I don't watch it even like you do. Like, I really enjoy it. I like it. I don't bet it. I don't know all the player. I'm not some kind of soccer expert of European teams or the Premier League or the Copa, the South American teams and all this. All I know is, because I saw the Copa last night, and there was nobody in that crowd. I watched that late night game at 9. There was like 15,000 people there. But this Euros, I mean, this is literally, to me, just quasi World Cup. It's as good as it gets. Watching the end of that game and watching those fans go crazy, like go absolutely crazy. I've never seen that even at an NFL game. Not once ever. And I'm talking a Monday night game that I'm watching right now on TV that started at 3 o'clock is more exciting than the Super Bowl. It really was. Like 5 seconds left, this guy rifles in this thing and people go ballistic. That's it. It may be the greatest thing I've ever seen. The soccer at the World Cup and Europeans, their tournament, this Euros, is maybe the greatest thing I've ever seen in sports. It really is. It's bigger than anything I've ever seen. The Olympics, you name it. It really is. I'm not even wrong.
It is the best tournament after the World Cup, hands down. The Euros are outstanding. And look, it's the world's game. Okay, I know it probably, and listen, it has changed here dramatically over the last 20 years. I mean, you used to have to go to like the basement of a dingy bar in Woodside to be able to watch European soccer in this country, and that's just not the case anymore. It's more readily available to everybody, and that's a good thing. And I think people have caught on to it. But everyone else around the world, they've been onto it for a very long time, and especially over there in Europe, massive scenes. And you were mentioning the crowd at that Copa game last night. And from what I've seen, a lot of rumblings, Scotty, that they priced everybody out of these games. These games at Jerry's World, and they're going to have a couple games at MetLife. They have priced everyone out of going. I mean, tickets are ridiculously expensive for these Copa games, and that seems to be part of the issue with some of the small crowds that they've had.
It shouldn't be. Let me tell you real quick. So I told you this story before at some level on radio or whatever. I used to go to the Caribbean all the time. And I would be down there for like the World Cup. And I've never in my life seen people that were baking in 90-degree sunshine, baking, like literally like frying like bacon on a stove, sitting in the sun, just copping rays, drinking, getting hammered, nudity, nude beaches, everything. People partying, eating caviar. I mean, these people drinking champagne like it was water. And then when the World Cup games are on, even though the sun's out, everybody's baking and they're on vacation, the entire beach empties and goes to the bar and watches the game. The entire beach becomes empty. There's not one person at the beach. And every single bar inside the shoreline water, go 100 yards, there's bars. And they all have, tiki bars and restaurants, and they make a fortune charging people through the nose, like French prices, right? And the crowds, the entire beach, 20,000 people goes to the bar and watches the game. And I mean, it's like nothing you've ever seen in your life. These people go nuts. They screaming and yelling like someone was being murdered watching a soccer game. And I'm like, I told you, I've never seen anything like it. Like, I never knew it was that big until I went and watched all these foreigners, like, from everywhere, these Caribbean countries, French, Italy, it doesn't matter. They're nuts for soccer. I mean, completely bonkers nuts. They're insane.
Yep. Everywhere. I mean, you could spread that out to the African countries, Asian countries, Australia. Everywhere it is the top game. Everywhere else around the world, and that's why the World Cup is so massive. As it is. You talk about excitement, Scotty. Let's transition now to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final. It does not get more exciting than that. It'll be tonight in Sunrise, Florida. The Panthers had a 3-0 lead in this series. It is long gone. 3-3 as the Oilers will try to become the 5th team in NHL history, 2nd team in the Stanley Cup Final, and as that was in 1942, to come back from a 3-0 series deficit. Let's start with Paul Maurice, Scotty. We had some fun with him on the end of last week talking about 3-2 is better than 3-0, blah, 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 blah. Well, here's Paul. Now he understands all the narratives. Game 7, greatest thing ever, but that can't be the focus. They just have to win a hockey game.
If you've handled the why of where you're at, and that would be hockey, right? Specific hockey.
No one's listening to him anymore, Mike.
Then you don't carry it forward. I understand every one of your questions in terms of why you would ask them, because there's a far bigger contextual story that means nothing to me now, but it means everything to you, right? That's the stories you have to write. That's actually what makes this whole thing awesome, is the context of it. So nobody ever has played on a backdoor rink in Canada and scored the Game 3 overtime winner in the qualifying round. Ever. It's one game always that excites you. And that is the context of this game, and the one that we will live in that context.
They will never live it down if they lose tonight. I'll tell you that much. And let me tell you something else. We live in a world of instantaneous video. I mean, we're on SportsGrid here, folks, and radio, I won't deny, is huge. We're on tons of radio stations, all great. People want to see this stuff. writers, the columns you write, does anyone, like, I know like two people that read now in my life. Like, I know no one that reads. I told you I'm the only guy that gets newspapers anymore. I read 2 newspapers every day of my life. And he's like, I know you have to write your story. No one reads any stories ever, anywhere, ever, anywhere, ever. Okay? People watch their phones. They watch their SportsGrid app. They watch their phones for video. They watch their phones for sex. And they bet on their phones. And then they listen to the radio on their phone. And they listen to their podcasts on their phone. And then when they get home, they watch TV. No one is sitting around Little House on the Prairie with a candle reading the Bible anymore, okay? No one reads anything, ever. So all you writers have to write. That's what caught me about that, because I told you no one's listening to Paul anymore after the bend-over job they just took for 3 games. Paul's press conferences don't matter anymore. I love Paul. I'm friends with Paul. But Paul needs to shut up, and he needs to win tonight, or they're never going to live it down, and neither will he. Eventually, they'll fire his ass for losing 4 straight to the Oilers.
Yeah, all these great press conferences and stories aren't going to have the same feel when all you're going to be remembered as is blowing a 3-0 lead in the Stanley Cup final. That's all you're going to be remembered as if that goes and happens. Not all the great stories. Never will. You will never. Will like we said it the other day, will the Falcons and Matt Ryan and all these guys ever live down 28-3? No.
No.
And Paul Maurice and Matthew Tkachuk and Sergei Bobrovsky and all these guys will never live down 3-0 if it happens to them
Yankees
tonight.
never lived down 3-0 against the Red Sox.
Never.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
11 and 12. I know you're going to get Mafia excited here. Hot and bothered.
You got to put Aaron Rodgers here and the Jets at 11. I would put him higher, but again, he barely played football last season. They've addressed their offensive line. It's not going to be great. The depth at wide receiver is a problem for me. Defense, perhaps the best in the National Football League. If Rodgers plays 14 games, they're probably going to win that division over the Bills.
Ferrall Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
Rory Mack, it's going to be remembered. It will be a lasting image from the 2024 United States Open, just like Bryson DeChambeau's 55-yard bunker shot.
We love big-time winners. Like, you win a championship, we want to hear from you. You get the stage. Sometimes it's emotional. It's a great watch. We know we also love the losers who said, you know what, I just can't believe I folded down the stretch. Let me face the music here. You sort of get a new light there.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Well, this is your last chance to get in on BetMGM's exclusive betting market for the NHL playoffs. They have the empty net goal markets until the Stanley Cup Finals ends tonight. And believe me, that door will be wide open for empty netters tonight. Find them in the app under the NHL tab, then the props tab. You can find specific game markets under each game along with the NHL props tab. You're going to love it. Empty net odds. Tonight's your night for that because, like Morency said, they're going to throw the kitchen sink at the end of this thing late. if you're down a goal, I mean, they're yanking goalies. If they're down 2 goals, they're yanking them 5 minutes left. So empty net city tonight in Sunrise between these two in Game 7. And I'll tell you what, this guy Maurice talking about, all this other media stuff. Listen, you said it. They will never live this down. I mean, I think all the pressure in the world is on them. I don't know how you can turn it around when you're playing as badly as they are in just one night. Like, you're telling me that, is that really going to happen, that a team that can get its ass beat 3 nights in a row like the way they did? Because I got to tell you, when they won, they win 3-0, and what was the other one? Was the other one a 1-goal game? I don't even remember. So it was 3-0, but they didn't play the way Edmonton played in those last 3 games, Mike. Edmonton's 3 wins, compare them in concert with Florida's 3 wins, and who's better? You know who's better.
Right. No, I know. Edmonton is, look, the games have been different, the games that Edmonton has won. They just have. There's been more of a dominating feel to all of them. And look, you never remember the team that was down 3-0 and loses in Game 7. There's been a couple. They're not remembered. The team ends up winning. Sometimes you don't even remember that they almost blew a 3-0 lead, but you will never live down losing 4 in a row after being up 3-0. Never. That is one that will never go away.
The reverse
It'll
sweep.
be talked about forever. All right, here we go. Let's hear from Tkachuk, and then we'll give you Connor McDavid one last time here before Game 7. Tkachuk, it all comes down to this tonight.
It's been a very even series, even though, we won 3, they won 3.
No, it hasn't.
For us, both teams to have an opportunity, most teams, when you lose 3 in a playoff series, you don't have a chance at another game, and somehow both of us have an opportunity still. So very exciting, kind of leave it all out there. Desperation on both sides. And it's been a very even series, I feel like. So it all comes down to this.
I hope, it's a better ending for them than I think it's going to be. But I'll tell you what, it reminds me of like the Croats leaving that stadium right now. They're going, Depression City. Your boy Modric looks like he's ready to jump in the river because he's finished playing in the Euros at 38. And he'll be lucky if they let him play at 40 in the World Cup. He'll be 40 years old in 2 years playing in the World Cup again, which also seems unlikely to me. But losing is so awful. Like, when you go as a fan, and like I went to 2008 to the Stanley Cup Finals and watched the Penguins lose to the Red Wings. And I got to tell you, it is depressing. Watching the Islanders beat the Penguins my whole life in the playoffs, watching them beat them with Volek's goal after they won back-to-back Stanley Cups, depressing. You wonder why Pittsburgh's gray and gloomy and everybody, no one goes to work after they lose. When the Steelers and Penguins lose in that town, Buffalo, same thing, they lose in the Super Bowl. You wonder why people have shrinks and people have depression and eat Zoloft. Honestly, seriously, like, these people tonight are going to leave that arena in full-on depression. And they got, it's not even July yet. It's 100 degrees down there every day with 100% humidity. And once the hockey ends, you don't even want to watch the Marlins. You don't even care the Dolphins open training camp. If they lose tonight, they're never living it down. And they are going to leave that arena. Half of them probably going to walk home. They don't even want to get in the car. They just want to, leave me alone. I'm going to walk.
Here is, we of course have been playing plenty of Connor McDavid stuff throughout this entire playoff run. Might as well do one more before a Game 7. And I got to give him credit. I thought we would get it's just another game. He actually gave a little bit more than that. Here he is.
Prepare for these games mentally. Do you spend time envisioning what the game's going to be like? Do you try not to think about it? Like, how do you get ready mentally for these big games?
Well, you got to prepare just like you always do. Obviously it's not your ordinary game. Everybody understands that, but you got to make it as ordinary as possible in your head. I think part of that is just sticking to your routine. Our room has done a great job of, being at our best in these big
God.
moments. And
Priest
I would
is
expect
more
no different as well.
exciting. Honestly, talking about walking through the desert with a fish and feeding 700 people.
That's the biggest thing for me tonight. If they win, are we going to see a different side of this guy? If
we
they
gotta
win
see
the
him
cup, I want to see that. That's might be the most intriguing thing tonight. Does McDavid have any personality, and will he show it when the monkey gets off his back and he wins a cup? He's
got the full. What was your boy Andrew Luck? Civil War neck beard going
the full
too.
Civil War neck beard.
Got the Civil War going.
As of this very moment, the Oilers are now minus 115 favorites tonight on the road in Sunrise, minus 105 for the Panthers, and a 5.5, just like every other game in this series.
Yeah, I told you I got it at minus $1 too, and I'll take the under, and I'll take the Oilers. And for Goldie and Moeller, I hope you get your rings, but I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling like I would be, if I were the Florida Panthers, I would be scared to death of what is about to happen to them, because it has been so apparent to me who's better. I watched 6 games. Who's better? Evans is better than them. They're faster. They're bigger. They're more skilled. Their power play's better. Their penalty kill's better. Their goalie's better. Their coach has been better with his line movements. I hate to say it, but it's all true. Check the boxes. They're better in everything. If Florida wins this game tonight, I will keel over. They haven't looked good since Game 3. I mean, that's how bad they've been.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start, so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
11 and 12. I know you're going to get Mafia excited here. Hot and bothered.
You got to put Aaron Rodgers here and the Jets at 11. I would put him higher, but again, he barely played football last season. They've addressed their offensive line. It's not going to be great. The depth at wide receiver is a problem for me. Defense, perhaps the best in the National Football League. If Rodgers plays 14 games, they're probably going to win that division over the Bills.
Ferrall Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
Rory Mack, it's going to be remembered. It will be a lasting image from the 2024 United States Open, just like Bryson DeChambeau's 55-yard bunker shot.
We love big-time winners. Like, you win a championship, we want to hear from you. You get the stage. Sometimes it's emotional. It's a great watch. We know we also love the losers who said, you know what, I just can't believe I folded down the stretch. Let me face the music here. You sort of get a new light there.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Just a programming note, Carver High was very nice to let me mention that my final 2 days of community service are tomorrow and Wednesday, as I will be filling potholes near the outer bridges tomorrow and Wednesday. Yeah, I do the crossings. Yes, and I do the, I fill the potholes with the fresh, whatever you call it. the cement, whatever it is, the black. I mean,
Black
I'm
top.
just the black.
Black
I'll be
top.
patting it with
Black
the
top.
shovel, and I have the orange jacket on. I got 2 days of that, and then I'm done. And then Thursday, Coast to Coast is live at SportsGrid's Plush Network Studios in lovely Ferrelladale, New Jersey. And then next Monday, July 1st, in case you didn't know, next Monday is July 1st. Moving forward, it will be yours truly with the one and only Carver High 5 days a week, again on Ferrall Coast to Coast. Once the community service ended, thank God that my lawyers and the management at SportsGrid was able to get me out of this community service thing early. And now it's back to business, Monday through Friday, Ferrall Coast to Coast with his boy, Carver High. And a great job by Joey Prawns holding down the fort while I served my penance.
And I did get a couple of tweets from people, Scotty, that were nervous that meant that Golf Wednesdays would be abolished. With you being back on Wednesdays. And I told them that is not the case whatsoever.
I love golf.
Golf Wednesdays. But
you're still doing the golf interviews with your normal guys, and I even stepped back and said, just keep doing it. It's great television. I've always supported you and your golf betting and your talent, so I don't want to hear it. If you guys don't like me, that's just the way I like it. So everything's in order.
Game 7 tonight, since 2005. Now, this is a large sample size, 20 years worth of games. The under is 63%, 44, 26, and 9. In the Stanley Cup Final, Scotty, Game 7, it is 4-0 to the under. So there you go. 5.5 for this one tonight. Me and you both like the under. We think this game.
So you're telling me it's moved to 5 at BetMGM? I just saw that on
that was at this morning. At this very second, I have BetMGM open right now in my hand. It is under 5.5 at -150. So you're paying a little bit more for that under, but it is still 5.5.
Well, that is just a really miserable, juicy price to pay for the under. So here's what we'll do. Screw that. I'm not paying $1.50 to handle that stress. Like, I'm going to be sitting there the whole game hoping for 5 goals at -1.5. My ass. How's that sound? I already bet the Oilers at -1.2. Thank you, ma'am. And it's been moving against my swerve all day. It's up to -115. So I got it at -1.2. So I did this bet on Saturday morning. So screw everybody. How does that sound? I already got it in. I don't need your juicy burger, okay? I get those at Wendy's. Thanks so much.
The most bet player props for tonight, obviously everything is Connor McDavid. Score the first goal, anytime goal, over 1.5, over 3.5 shots. Bobrovsky over 24.5 saves. I even have, look at this, McDavid specials for you tonight too. How about him to get 6 shots at 4-1? How about 3 assists at 6-1? How about 2 power play points at +450? I mean, I got it all for you with McDavid tonight as he looks to win his first Stanley Cup.
So that's just overwhelming for me to look at right now in Braille. So tell me what you like of all those multitude of Game 7 specials that you just gave me. Which ones do you like? Because look, in Game 6, he had no points. He had no points.
Yes. If I was gonna dart throw any of those Game 7 specials, it would be the 2 power play points at +450. I think that's the one dart throw I would take tonight. 2 points on the power play. Because look, there's a lot of big here. 7 shots, 8 shots. I mean, like you said, he didn't really get near that the other night. 3 points at +280. Give me the 2 power play points, a little juicier number, because they've been good on the power play. That's what I would do.
Yeah, listen, I'm going to say this like crazily. I think, all the extra help on that team are the ones scoring all the goals. The help is scoring all the goals. It hasn't been the superstar. Now the superstar's got all the points, and he's not gonna catch Gretzky. Okay, that's not happening either, right?
No.
So I'm on the help. I really am. Everyone but him is going to be the reason they win this game tonight. They're going to be so worried about him that everybody else is going to do the damage.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
11 and 12. I know you're going to get Mafia excited here. Hot and bothered.
You got to put Aaron Rodgers here and the Jets at 11. I would put him higher, but again, he barely played football last season. They've addressed their offensive line. It's not going to be great. The depth at wide receiver is a problem for me. Defense, perhaps the best in the National Football League. If Rodgers plays 14 games, they're probably going to win that division over the Bills.
Ferrall Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
Rory Mack, it's going to be remembered. It will be a lasting image from the 2024 United States Open, just like Bryson DeChambeau's 55-yard bunker shot.
We love big-time winners. Like, you win a championship, we want to hear from you. You get the stage. Sometimes it's emotional. It's a great watch. We also love the losers who said, you know what, I just can't believe I folded down the stretch. Let me face the music here. You sort of get a new light there.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
All right, so Adam Kaplan is our NFL insider. Everybody knows that by now, everywhere. And he's all over SportsGrid, and he's all over Coast to Coast every week. Thank God for that. You can follow him on X at Kaplan NFL. He's been covering the NFL for close to 30 years, unequaled by his peers. None of them like him because he's so much better at his job than them. Secretly, they talk all kinds of shack behind his back that how does this guy Kaplan have everything? TV shows, popularity, fame, fortune, and tons of fans that follow him on social media. And he's on Coast to Coast, and they call me a bunch of names too. They're on, saying they're on with that asshat Ferrall, this guy Kaplan. It's unbelievable. What we're going to do is we're going to talk to Adam before he starts his travels. He's going to every single training camp that matters in the NFL like he does every summer, and his wife isn't having any of it. Last year, he forgot his sunblock and he had a hell itch. That's when you have sunburn so bad that you have hell itch and you're freezing cold with the sunburn. Today, we're going to start doing one division per segment leading up to training camps opening up next month. We start with the AFC West, and he's going to start with the scary Denver Broncos. Scary in that we don't know what we're going to see other than Sean Payton's big predictions.
Well, Scott, they were in Payton's first year. They were 8-9 last year, a game under 500. He had not had a 500 record since 2016. But look, when you look at it, the odds makers, they clearly don't think much of him. They've got a 5.5 win total, and I totally get that. They're going to have a rookie quarterback, Bo Nix, starting at some point, whether it's week 1, 3, or 5. He's going to start early in the season, if not week 1. So he's going to be the guy. That's why they drafted Bo Nix. This was Sean Payton's handpicked quarterback. No, it wasn't McCarthy. He wanted Bo Nix. I can tell you from talking to people know about the situation. This is Sean Payton's guy. But, around him, there's a decent young receiver core mixed in with some veterans. The problem on defense is lack of playmakers, lack of a pass rush. My personal win total would be 6, so I would agree. It's either going to be 5.5 or 6. I would agree with that with Denver.
So how do you think Bo Nix will do with that kind of pressure in that football town, which I know people think that the Nuggets, because they won a title, that it's a basketball town. They're sadly mistaken. It's always been a Bronco town and always will be, including the Avalanche. They don't matter either compared to the Bronx.
Yeah, it's all about the Broncos. If they can get it right at quarterback, they're going to move up very, very quickly. But Bo Nix was a guy that a lot of teams had a second-round grade on. But the Broncos, like specifically Sean Payton. But overall, Javonte Williams, their fourth-year running back, final year was rookie deal. He needs to take his game to the next level. Denver, again, around 5.5 or 6. I would agree with that total.
Don't they just lack star players? They just don't have the talent. Isn't there?
It isn't there. And when you look at Denver, Cortland Sutton's a guy that I like. He's got 2 years left on his deal. They haven't extended him yet. Troy Franklin, who was Nix's teammate at Oregon, he's there, who's a rookie as well. When you really look at this team, you've got Patrick Surtain Jr., who's an absolute stud corner like his dad, but that's really it on defense. Just a lack of studs. And that's how you win in the National Football League. It's star power and star players. They just don't have enough of them. I would agree with you.
So let's move to the Chargers and Jim Harbaugh, and they are just giving him lofty expectations. And you and I both know he basically cleaned house and is starting from scratch. I don't know how they win 9 games. The number's 8.5. Are you buying Jim Harbaugh's first season is going to be that successful? It never has been before.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not. He's a great coach. First of all, whether it's University of San Diego, Stanford, Michigan, the 49ers who went to the Super Bowl with. You're right. He's completely changed everything. Jesse Minter, who was his defensive coordinator at Michigan, is his D coordinator here. Greg Roman comes out of not being with a football team. He used to be with the Ravens, who was in that Super Bowl in 2012 with Colin Kaepernick. Now you fast forward with Harbaugh. He's back with him now. It's going to be a run-based offensive scheme. Roman's a phenomenal play caller when it comes to the run game. Not much at the receiver position. Defensively, their front seven will be okay. The problem is on the back end. As I understand it, it's really the cornerback position that clubs that evaluate that football team tell me. You struggle looking at that cornerback group. It's not going to be good enough. 8.5 win total. By the way, the over is minus 150. That's where the money is. I don't agree with that. You and I look at this differently. I look at them under 8.5. Absolutely.
I'm with you. And let me ask you this. That's the funniest thing I've ever heard. They have no receivers, yet they have a great quarterback, and they're going to be a run team. Now, if I were Herbert, I'd grab my surfboard and say, I'm going surfing. If you're not going to let me throw the ball with my arm, something's wrong with you.
Yeah, and they did draft Lad McConkey, who's I'm a big fan of. But Quentin Johnston, you and I have talked about them from TCU last year. He was overdrafted. He barely played. Right. The hope is that he'll start this season. But this is mostly a 12-personnel team. 2 receivers, 2 tight ends, and 1 running back. And you're going to see Gus Edwards come over from the Ravens, of course, with Greg Roman and J.K. Dobbins. But again, this is a very average team to me. They're not going to be over 8.5.
I'm going to give Johnston one more crack with his talent. I'm going to give him one more season crack at believing in him. I think that, sometimes, it's very overwhelming playing in the NFL. It's not playing at TCU. It's not playing college. It's not playing high school. This is the NFL where guys are paying for, big paychecks and feeding their families. It's a different scene altogether. I think it takes time sometimes with talent to come around. I think he might be one of those guys that will get better as another year and more experience and different coaches that can bring something out of him. That guy has talent. I don't care what anybody says. There's no way I believe he's going to suck as bad as he did last year. All right, the Chiefs, they win the Super Bowl every year.
Going for a three-peat, by the way. I love their over total. Their over is minus 120, 11.5. Their schedule, they have a first-place schedule. Obviously, they won the Super Bowl. But it's not that daunting. And by the way, 17 of the 22 starters from last year are back. This is and by the way, the one issue they badly needed, we've talked about now for 4 years. Where's the speed at receiver? Now they've got it. Hollywood Brown and Xavier Worthy, they made that trade with the Bills to go get him. Defensively, there is one issue, and it's a big one at cornerback. Remember, they traded L'Jarius Sneed, their best corner. That is my one issue with that football team. But other than that, they're phenomenal. They're going to be right there with the Niners again.
So bottom line is, when you have 17 of 22 that have won 2 straight Super Bowls on offense, the key to this season is obvious. It's their health. If they're healthy, they're almost impossible to beat.
Yeah, I mean, it's 17 of the 22 starts. We're talking both sides of the football, yes. And look, Andy Reid's back, Mahomes back. They've had a tumultuous offseason with off-the-field issues. They'll get Rashee Rice. He's going to play this season. The question is how long his suspension is going to be. But they're loaded at receiver now. It's not all on Rice. It's on a lot of guys collectively. And, of course, Kelsey's back once again, who's 35 years old. But they're going to be phenomenal. And, again, they're going to be so explosive at offense, finally going to have a downfield passing game.
I think they will rue the day they let Snead leave to go to Tennessee. I think it's a huge loss. I don't think they'll live that down. They will have problems on the back end. He was a shutdown guy. Finally, the Raiders.
Yeah, the Raiders, it's 6.5 projected win total. The over is minus 125. The under is is plus 105. Look, they're starting over at quarterback. Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connor can compete for it. My money's on Minshew. He's making $12.5 million. They're going to be a run-based offensive scheme. Defensively, Patrick Graham is back. He's phenomenal, their D coordinator. They've got problems at corner. They've got a good pass rush. It's going to be right around 6 or 7 wins. They're going to be right around that total. And by the way, very, very veteran coaching staff.
Yeah.
Pierce has put together a staff with a lot of veterans, 2 former head coaches, Joe Philbin and Marvin Lewis. But again, they're going to be right around 6.5 or 7. I agree with that.
I like their pass rush in particular. And I hear O'Connell has the edge right now on Minshew. You think that'll hold water at the end?
I'm Minshew all the way. It's early. I'd relax on that. It's early. We haven't got to training camp yet.
Minshew's photos for the media were brilliant. He did all those funny photos for the media. I mean, he really is something. Adam, great stuff. Thank you.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
11 and 12. I know you're going to get Mafia excited here. Hot and bothered.
You got to put Aaron Rodgers here and the Jets at 11. I would put him higher, but again, he barely played football last season. They've addressed their offensive line. It's not going to be great. The depth at wide receiver is a problem for me. Defense, perhaps the best in the National Football League. If Rodgers plays 14 games, they're probably going to win that division over the Bills.
Ferrall Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
Rory Mack, it is going to be remembered. It will be a lasting image from the 2024 United States Open, just like Bryson DeChambeau's 55-yard bunker shot.
We love big-time winners. Like, you win a championship, we want to hear from you. You get the stage. Sometimes it's emotional. It's a great watch. We also love the losers who said, you know what, I just can't believe I folded down the stretch. Let me face the music here. You sort of get a new light there.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
I mean, what could be better than this? Are you kidding me? The Golden Muzzy, Nick Alberga in Toronto from the Leafs Morning Take and NHL Fantasy on Ice. His podcast, Second to None. You can follow him at the Golden Muzzy, M-U-Z-Z-Y on X. Hockey extraordinaire, a freak of nature. He's going to the NHL draft on that Friday, Saturday, the 28th, 29th, I believe it is, at the Sphere in Las Vegas. I was just telling Nick, You won't believe it. You're going to blow your mind. Like, I have never been in anything like it. And I can't even believe, frankly, that James Dolan and Madison Square Garden were the ones that made it happen. That's their building. And they're going to make an absolute fortune on that. It's the coolest thing in Vegas I've ever been in. It's the coolest arena I've ever been in my life, stadium or arena otherwise, anywhere, including 4 Olympic Games. This is the coolest spot you ever been to in your life. The NHL's lucky they're in there. It's going to be Gandhi.
It's pretty damn sweet, too. It's the last centralized draft for the NHL before they go sort of NFL styles here. And I think what a perfect way to end sort of that iteration of the draft, to do it at the Sphere. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well. I have no idea what to expect. I've been to Vegas countless times, but no experience like this one, Scotty. So I'm fired up. It's pretty crazy. We've got a Game 7 tonight. And then in earnest, the offseason begins tomorrow, right?
Listen, I was there for the dead, and I sat down low by the floor where the draft will be. And then, I was like, I took my son. I said, we got to go up to the roof and see what it's like, because it is literally like a Swiss Alps. It's as steep an arena as you've ever seen in your life. When they have a UFC event there, the 303, I think it is, or wherever they're having an event there. I don't know if it's that one, but I think the T-Mobile's the 303, but they're having an event there one of these days. And you know how the fans all get in fights at UFC events in the crowd? They all think they're tough guys. Someone, I swear to God, in that upper deck, in that 400 level is going down, and they are going to fall 90 seats down. It is the steepest arena I've ever been in my life. You have to ride the escalators to the top and actually see that entire ball, that sphere from the top is the most magnificent thing I ever saw in my life. I'm like, what is happening here? This is the coolest thing I've ever done. And to see the videos that they put up and what they're going to do for NHL and for those kids and those players and their families, it's going to blow their minds. It's literally going to blow their minds. It's going to blow your mind. You know what blows my mind? We got a Game 7 tonight. What's going to happen down in the Everglades, Nick? What's happening tonight?
Scotty, I'm so jacked. For the majority of the Stanley Cup final, I've actually been on the road. I've been to 4 of the 6 games. So unfortunate I couldn't make it to Game 7 because I'm flying to Vegas tomorrow night. It's been an unbelievable series. Obviously, on one side, you have the Edmonton Oilers chasing history. The other side, you have the Florida Panthers team trying to avoid history. We're up 3-0 in this series. It's now 3-3. I think all the momentum is clearly with the Edmonton Oilers, considering the way the last 3 games have gone. I'm still in a state of shock, considering the Panthers have now had 3 opportunities to close out the Oilers. They haven't done so, and now they set up a winner-take-all. Granted, it's on home ice, but I think all the momentum's with Edmonton. How about you?
Oh, without a doubt. I bet Edmonton. I had Edmonton from the jump. I have Edmonton. I bought them at minus $1.02 on Saturday, which I thought was a ridiculous price. I know we just talked about that under at 5.5. It's 14-0 since 1950, but it's minus $1.50 for that. So I don't want that kind of juice. But I'll say this: I've always said they're just a better team. They're a better team on special teams, both sides, the kill and the power play. I think their goalie's playing better. I think Bob looks tired again, just like last year. I think he's hit a wall, and they control the puck. I've never seen in my life, Nick, a team have 2 shots on goal in a period in an NHL Stanley Cup final. And let me tell you something. The Penguins and Oilers both have 5. And so if they win 6, that's going to bum me out. And it'll be the most by any team since the merger if the Oilers do it tonight. That obviously some of the history you're talking about. This is a franchise that wins Stanley Cups, and the Panthers aren't.
Yeah, it speaks for itself. I mean, you just laid everything out there crystal clear. I think the definitive story in the series is the Edmonton PK has been outstanding. They've been outstanding all postseason long. I do truly believe that PKs win championships sometimes. Florida won for 19 in the series. I don't know if I agree that I think Florida pound for pound is the better team. I just don't think they're playing with that team that's been the best team in hockey all season long. I think a big reason why is Connor McDavid. I think the depth pieces have been incredible, namely that third line with Henrique, Janmark, and Brown have been outstanding and sort of controlling the game. And yeah, you're right. From a defensive standpoint, I think Florida is so lost right now. And that's what concerns me heading into Game 7 is that, like, Edmonton's been able to do whatever they wanted, you know?
they look like they don't know what hit them. Like it's just like, I'm watching every game. I was in Vegas watching the 5-3 game, or I bet the 8-1 game. I was in Vegas, and it was the Saturday of the Tank Davis fight, and they beat him 8-1, and I bet them and won a bunch of money, and then they went down there and beat him 5-3. So I'm watching them, and I'm going, it's 8-1. I'm sitting there in my room before the fight. I'm watching with my son going, we already won the money. This game's over. Like, I don't even know what I'm watching. What has happened to the team that was up 3-0? It's like they a Houdini. They disappeared.
Yeah, and I think the McDavid factor too, right? I mean, we are dealing with the best player in the league right now. We are dealing with a guy who I think one day could go down as the best ever. And I think any team that possesses that guy, you're going to have some confidence. Imagine you're the Oilers and you have that guy, and then you have Leon Draisaitl, albeit he's probably at 50%. You have Hyman, who's been excellent. You have Nugent Hopkins. Like, there's so many different weapons and options. I think Evan Bouchard's been phenomenal. As you talked about earlier, the goaltending's been great as well. Stuart Skinner's been outstanding. Just go look at his numbers in closeout games, potential elimination games. He's been fantastic in this postseason run. Very Corey Crawford-esque, by the way, dating back to the days of the Chicago Blackhawks dynasty and efficiency and getting the job done. But I think you're so right when it comes to Florida. This team has completely lost their identity. Like, they were known as a defensive stalwart that could, last line of defense. Their D was strong. They were mobile. They were physical. And they had the goaltender who could just, any mistake, he would just clean it up. And they're getting nothing of that. And on top of that, they're getting...
God bless you. Listen, have fun at the draft. Enjoy the game tonight. You're a badass. And I think you're right about that third line. They're killing them.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start, so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
11-12. I know you're going to get Mafia excited here. Hot and bothered.
You got to put Aaron Rodgers here and the Jets at 11. I would put him higher, but again, he barely played football last season. They've addressed their offensive line. It's not going to be great. The depth at wide receiver is a problem for me. Defense, perhaps the best in the National Football League. If Rodgers plays 14 games, they're probably going to win that division over the Bills.
Ferrall Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
Rory Mack, it's going to be remembered. It will be a lasting image from the 2024 United States Open, just like Bryson DeChambeau's 55-yard bunker shot.
We love big-time winners. Like, you win a championship, we want to hear from you. You get the stage. Sometimes it's emotional. It's a great watch. We know we also love the losers who said, you know what, I just can't believe I folded down the stretch. Let me face the music here. You sort of get a new light there.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Carver High is now back in charge of the Spew newsroom as he's got several headlines.
Yes, indeed we do. One more thing on the hockey game. If you remember the woman who flashed her breasts at the Oilers game during the Western Conference Finals and has gotten a lot of publicity, signed a deal with Playboy, Scotty. How about that?
Playboy's still around?
I guess so. The United States opened their Copa last night with a 2-0 win over Bolivia.
Nice.
Pulisic scored 3 minutes into the game. What a win for them. Copa tonight. Let's do it quickly. Colombia and Paraguay get together in the first game. Minus 135 for Colombia in this one, Scotty. And then you have later on Brazil and Costa Rica, which will probably be a smash job. As you can see, Brazil minus 1,000 there on the money line for the 90 minutes. Let's get some junior goals in that one for Brazil. That would be great, indeed. We talked a little bit about the protesters at the Travelers who I'll tell you what bothered me about it, because I wanted Tom Kim to win. They had to change the pin on the playoff hole because of the nonsense that went on there. That bothered me because Kim then got hit in the bunker on the playoff hole when it was in a different hole location. So that was unfortunate. Terrell Hatton won at Live Nashville.
Ricky.
Scotty, we have been on fire with the Live picks here. That is 2 in a row for me. Hatton this week. We had Carlos Ortiz the tournament before that. Brady has been great as well.
That's
with these picks.
41 in odds you've hit in back-to-back weeks.
That is correct. We have done a very nice job with the Live tournaments, that's for sure. The Packers named Ed Policy as Mark Murphy's successor as president and CEO following a vote. He's done after next season. The Chiefs released Isaiah Buggs. Why? Guy's been thrown in the tin twice in the last month. They decided that he wasn't good enough for all of that nonsense, Scotty. So Isaiah Buggs finished there. Did you see the Ryan Garcia poker video with Jimmy Butler? What is going on there with guy? That's
my man he was chugging tequila, and Jimmy Butler's face was epic. He wanted to beat the shack out of him by his bare hands. He wanted to kill him. He never said one word the entire broadcast. He was so sick and tired of Ryan Garcia. Ryan is a complete asshat and an embarrassment to boxing.
He certainly is. Max Verstappen won the Spanish Grand Prix. He's won 7 of the 10 races this season on that circuit. That is ridiculous. And Sha'Carri Richardson wins the 100 meters at Olympic trials. She qualifies for Paris. She will be there as part of
She's got great nails. She's hot.
Yes.
I like her.
Yes.
I think she's interested in me, but we'll find out if she hits on me when she's in Paris at the Olympics. For all of finish time, surfing legend and Pirates of the Caribbean actor Tamayo Perry killed in Hawaii in a shark attack surfing. I keep telling you, Carver High, I love surfing. I love the ocean. I love the beach, but I love bikinis more. Do not go in the water. There is evil under the water. A graduate and father slashed by masked suspects outside a high school commencement ceremony at Hofstra University. What is happening here? You can't even go to the graduation ceremony without someone shanking you. New York City gun violence spikes as summer heat hits the 5 boroughs. I mean, the news now here is murders and weather. They don't even do sports anymore. Elon Musk claims that 2 homicidal maniacs have tried to kill him, and he compares himself to John Lennon. My man has lost it. He thinks he's John Lennon. An Indiana dad stabs his son to death in a fight at the family's home over dirty dishes. I have had dirty dish fights in the Ferrall Palatial. It is not good when I am forced to do all of the dishes, and I get very angry. A hiker was found dead in the Grand Canyon after camping overnight. People don't realize this happens all the time at the Grand Canyon. People think they're badass campers, and the next thing you know, they drown in the river. The next thing you know, they run out of water and they're dehydrated. The next thing you know, they get snapped by a rattlesnake. It's the Grand Canyon, for Christ's sakes. George Santos has announced an OnlyFans account, which will be an utter failure like his political career. What a loser tool this guy is. He thinks people actually want to see him naked on a website? Bro, you are tripping. Americans are leaving California and New York for North Carolina and South Carolina and Florida, unless you like hurricanes. GTD is next. We'll catch you tomorrow on Coast to Coast. Enjoy Game 7.